Hello, this is Mari Lane from the Buying Space channel, and today I'm reading from the Good News Bible from the 1970s, and this is the Catholic edition that has the Apocrypha in it, and I'm reading the Apocrypha to extend my knowledge of theology. So the first book in the Apocrypha is Tobit. Hope I am saying that right. This is my first experience as a Protestant reading the Apocrypha. Martin Luther did include the, forgive my pronunciation of this, Deuteronomicals / Apocrypha in the Gutenberg Bible. It was in the Gutenberg Bible, which I found surprising. But the book of Tobit, Chapter 1, verse 1. I am Tobit, and this is the story of my life. My father was Tobel, my grandfather was Ananel, and my great-grandfather was Adul. Adul's father was Gabel, and his grandfather was Raphael, and his great-grandfather was Regel, who belonged to the clan of Asil, a part of the tribe of Naphtali. During the time that Shalmaneser was emperor of Assyria, I was taken captive in my hometown of Thisbe, located in northern Galilee, south of Kadesh in Naphtali, northwest of Hazar, and north of Fogar. All my life I have been honest and have tried to do what was right. I often gave my money to help needy relatives and fellow Jews who had been deported with me to Nineveh, the capital of Syria. When I was young, I lived in northern Israel. All the tribes in Israel were supposed to offer sacrifices in Jerusalem. It was the one city that God had chosen from among all the Israelite cities as the place where his temple was to be built for his holy and eternal home. But my entire tribe rejected the city of Jerusalem, and the kings descended from David. Like everyone else in this tribe, my own family used to go to the city of Dan in the mountains of northern Galilee to offer sacrifices to the golden bull calf which King Jeroboam of Israel had set up there. I was the only one in my family who regularly went to Jerusalem to celebrate the religious festivals as the law of Moses commands everyone to do. I would hurry off to Jerusalem with the first part of my harvest and firstborn of my animals, a tenth of my cattle, and a freshly clipped wolf from my sheep. Then I would stand before the altar of the temple and give these offerings to the priests and descendants of Aaron. I would give a tenth of my grain, wine, olive oil, pomegranates, figs, and other fruits to the Levites who serve God in Jerusalem. Every year, except the 7th year, when the land was at rest, I would sell a second tenth of my possessions and spend the money in Jerusalem on the way to festival meal. But every 3rd year I would give a 3rd tithe to the widows and orphans, to the foreigners living among my people, and we would eat the festival meat together. I did this in keeping with the law of Moses, which Deborah, the mother of my grandfather, Ananiel, had taught me to obey. I had also been left an orphan when my father died. When I grew up, I married Anna, a member of my own tribe. We had a son and named him Tobit. Later, I was taken captive and deported to Assyria, and that is how I came to live in Nineveh. While we lived in Nineveh, all my relatives and fellow Jews used to eat the same kind of food as the other people who lived there, but I refused to do so, since I took seriously the commands of the Most High God. He made Emperor Shalmaneser respect me, and I was placed in charge of purchasing all the emperor's supplies. Before the emperor died, I made regular trips to the land of Media to buy things for him there. Once, when I was in the city of Rages in Media, I left some bags of money there with Gabias' brother, and asked him to keep them for me. These were more than 600 pounds of silver coins in those bags. When Shalmaneser died, his son Sennacherib succeeded him as emperor. It soon became so dangerous to travel in the roads to Media that I would no longer go there. While Shalmaneser was still emperor, I took good care of my fellow Jews. Whenever they were in need, if they were hungry, I shared my food with them. If they needed clothes, I gave them some of my own. Wherever I saw that the dead body or one of my people had been thrown outside of the city wall, I gave it a decent burial. One day, Sennacherib cursed God, the King of heaven. God punished him, and Sennacherib had to retreat from Judah. On his way back to Media, he was so furious that he killed many Israelites. But I secretly removed the bodies and buried them, and when Sennacherib later searched for the bodies, he could not find them. Then someone from Nineveh told the emperor that I was the one who had been burying his victims. As soon as I realized that the emperor knew all about me and my life was in danger, I became frightened, so I ran away and hid. Everything I owned was seized and put in the royal treasury. My wife Anna and my son Tobias were all I had left. About 6 weeks later, 2 of the emperor's sons assassinated him and then escaped to the mountains of Ararat. Another son, Esarhaddon, became emperor and put Hakar, my brother Errol's son, in charge of all the financial affairs of the empire. This was actually the second time Akar was appointed to this position, for when Sennacherib was emperor in Assyria, Akar had been wine steward, treasurer, and accountant, and had been in charge of the official seal. Since Akar was my nephew, he put in a good word for me with the emperor, and I was allowed to return to Nineveh. Wow, what a life of persecution. And he really stood up and did the right thing, and a lot of it was due to the wise teachings of his grandmother. And here he is, hurrying off to Jerusalem during the first part of the harvest. So that was chapter 1. I'm sure I did horribly on the names, but I am going to continue to read this and look at it, because I don't know this part of the Gutenberg Bible, or I don't know this part of the Intertestament or the Apocrypha that's included in what they call the Catholic Bible. So I want to learn the text of the Old Testament and New Testament in this Good News Bible from the same year is the very same that people were reading back in the 70s and 80s, and probably still do. They probably still publish the Good News Bible. There have been so many variations and versions of the Bible, it's hard to keep up with. I don't know the history of the Good News Bible. So if you know that, or want to add any wisdom or tidbits, or Bible trivia or Apocrypha trivia or Catholic trivia, please feel free to do that in the comments and let me know what you think about my readings. If you like hearing me read, this is the very first time I read it. I had not pre-read it at all, but hit the like button. If the subscribe button is red, make it gray, and then take the bell and put it on all, and then that you'll hear all of my readings. I also do readings in the Old Testament, New, and Torah, and directly from the Hebrew translation. And I'm doing readings in the New Testament right now, in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and also in the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So, have a good day, everyone. Be kind to each other.